She's a great player. She's a high IQ player.
Mm-hmm.
She adjusted really quickly to this league, uh,
Unbelievably.
unbelievably quick to this league. And now it's about becoming not just a great player, but becoming a great leader for this team, so that we can win not just a championship, but championships. And what does that look like?
Stephanie White showers Caitlin Clark with unmatched praise, calling her a generational talent destined for greatness. But White isn't stopping at compliments. She's laser focused on clinching a championship this year. Can this dynamic duo rewrite history and bring glory to their team? The stakes have never been higher.
You can tell the Fever got an upgrade at coach just from hearing Stephanie White speak, because they are going to be formidable next. She discussed communicating with Caitlin Clark and wanting to help mold her into a leader to win multiple championships. And you can see when Stephanie White discusses the team that there is a level of excitement behind what she's saying.
Now, here's the thing. You see, Stephanie White's return to the Indiana Fever as head coach has set the basketball world ablaze, and she's already making it crystal clear that this is a new era for the franchise. After years of struggle, mediocrity, and mismanagement under former leadership, particularly Christie sides, White is here to rewrite the rulebook, starting with how she treats the team's rising superstar, Caitlin Clark.
Just being there to help her navigate some of the things that she's navigating. I don't think that any one of us can really probably understand, what she goes through on a daily basis. She carries a heavy load, right? With our league and with her abilities, certainly. But where we are from this tipping point in the WNBA and from popularity, that she's like Taylor Swift 2.0.
It's no secret that Clark is a generational talent, a player whose skills and charisma have electrified fans and redefined what it means to dominate the court. But as White steps in, she's bringing something Clark has long deserved but rarely received: unwavering respect, strategic brilliance, and a vision that elevates her to the level of a true franchise centerpiece.
Several players pulled up to attendance of this press conference. And y'all know it wasn't going to be no press conference without Caitlin Clark being there. And I'm here to tell you, she showed up. Judging by these photos right here that are circling around online, I can let you know for sure Caitlin Clark mean business about this 2024 season, because she ain't leaving no stones unturned. She is there every step of the way, watching Kelly and making sure, Stephanie and them is doing what's right. And I'm telling you right now,
under Christie Sides' leadership, the Fever's management lacked the spark and clarity needed to harness the potential of a star like Caitlin Clark. Sides often emphasized a rigid, one-size-fits-all coaching philosophy that stifled creativity and failed to recognize what makes a player like Clark extraordinary. Critics pointed to an environment that felt more transactional than transformational, one that didn't nurture the unique gifts Clark brought to the team. Stephanie White, on the other hand, is the polar opposite. Her approach is rooted in empowerment, collaboration, and an acute understanding of the modern game. From the moment she stepped into her role, White made it clear that Caitlin Clark isn't just another player, but the future of the franchise.
This new Fever regime is very impressive and seems very supported. What I mean by the latter is Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, all in attendance to see their new coach, Stephanie White.
White has already taken bold steps to create a system that plays to Clark's strengths. Recognizing her unparalleled ability to read the floor, knock down impossible shots, and lead with unrelenting confidence, White is crafting an offense built around her. But it's not just about anybody. It's about building trust and fostering a partnership with Caitlin Clark. Meanwhile, in press conferences and team meetings, White hasn't shied away from lavishing praise on Clark, calling her the kind of player every coach dreams of working with. But it's not empty flattery. White backs it up with action. She's ensuring Clark has the support, resources, and freedom to thrive.
She's 22 years old, and Caitlin. But she's, I've coached Michael Jordan, I coached Isaiah, I coached Dominique Wilkins. I mean, and then with the Dream Team, we had all of them.
Right.
She's of that caliber in the women's game, which is of the highest quality. I love the women's game. What's your approach when you're coaching greatness like that?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, just talking basketball, right? Just having general basketball conversations about what she's watching, what she likes, what are some of the things that what are some of her thoughts from, not just what the Indiana Fever have done, but from the game of basketball in general.
Now, what sets White apart from her predecessor is her innate ability to inspire. So, where Sides struggled to connect with her players on a personal level, White excels. She understands that superstars like Clark need more than coaching. They need mentorship, respect, and a platform to shine. Caitlin doesn't just belong in the spotlight, she is the spotlight, White boldly declared during a recent interview. And she's putting her money where her mouth is, advocating for Clark in team decisions, pushing for a roster that complements her skill set, and ensuring she feels valued every step of the way. Interestingly, White's ultimate promise is to deliver a championship, and she's not backing down. With Clark as her cornerstone, she's assembling a team and a culture designed to compete at the highest level. It's a direct challenge to the Sides era, a declaration that the Fever's days of underachieving are over.
When you think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen, they are going to go down in history as the greatest. And I'm excited about the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to build from those starting points and build out, and for the longevity that those two could have in Indiana, in Indianapolis, and hanging banners in this building. All of those things are so exciting. The future's really bright, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
However, Stephanie White, the dynamic head coach of the Indiana Fever, has wasted no time making headlines with her passionate praise for Caitlin Clark. In a league where talent like Clark's doesn't just come around every year, White's enthusiasm is palpable, infectious, and absolutely justified. To hear her speak about Clark is to witness a coach utterly captivated by the potential of her star player, and it's clear that this duo is poised to make waves in the WNBA. Talk about celebrating a star? Caitlin Clark is no ordinary player. Her dazzling performances, clutch shooting, and court vision have already etched her name into basketball lore. White, a basketball veteran herself, knows just how rare it is to coach someone with Clark's talent and drive. This isn't just high praise, it's a ringing endorsement from someone who's seen it all in the basketball world. White understands the unique challenges and pressures of the WNBA, and she's determined to ensure that Clark not only survives in the league, but thrives.
Yeah, I spoke with Caitlin last night, and I think just overall excitement. I have been watching Caitlin play since she was an 8th grader, when I was coaching at the college realm and covering her games in college, and just an exciting time for me. Very excited to be working with her and this young team.
Not to mention, there's some pretty cool symmetry. You wore number 22 for the Indiana Fever. I mean, maybe it's too soon to say, but you could potentially be coaching the last player to ever wear 22 for the Indiana Fever. That's pretty cool.
For White, it's not just about recognizing Clark's talent, it's about building a partnership that amplifies it. In press conferences, White has repeatedly expressed her excitement about working closely with Clark, emphasizing the unique opportunity to collaborate with someone who shares her vision for greatness. Caitlin isn't just a player you coach, White said in a recent interview. She's a player you build with. Her understanding of the game is next level, and she challenges everyone around her to rise to her standard. That's the kind of energy and leadership this franchise needs. As fans eagerly anticipate what this partnership will bring, one thing is certain. Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark are a match made for greatness. Together, they're not just aiming to win games, they're aiming to redefine the game itself. And White couldn't be more thrilled to have Clark by her side for the journey.
Spaces the floor for us. She makes tough buckets. She gives us another option on the floor to run our off-ball screening action for. She gives us another player that can play with the ball in her hands in the two-man game. She just has a really high IQ and understanding of the game.
With this powerhouse combination, fans are buzzing about what the Indiana Fever could achieve this season, and the whispers are growing louder. Could this be the year the Fever make it all the way to the WNBA Finals? Well, who knows? Nevertheless, Caitlin Clark has always been a player who thrives in the spotlight. From her jaw-dropping college career to her seamless transition into the WNBA, Clark has always proven time and again that pressure only fuels her fire. But basketball isn't a solo sport. Even the most talented players need a system, a team, and a leader who can elevate their game. And that's exactly where Stephanie White comes in. Under White's guidance, Clark's potential is being unlocked in ways that were previously unimaginable. White is no ordinary coach. She's a basketball strategist who knows how to craft winning teams, and she's made it her mission to build the Fever around Clark's unique talents.
Caitlin Clark was fired up all day on Friday. First, obviously, the big news, Stephanie White hired by the Indiana Fever, the new head coach, something Caitlin Clark clearly agrees with. Clearly, Caitlin Clark has respect for head coach Stephanie White, respect that is mutual, and she wasn't hesitant to show it, right? You know, as soon as the news came out on the Fever side of things, she's writing "Fever Show" in the Instagram comment, and you can almost hear her say that, like that enthusiasm.
But this is the real deal. Stephanie White's new tenure as head coach of the Indiana Fever has already presented her with a unique challenge, managing the delicate balance between player relationships and the team's long-term goals. While the buzz surrounding Caitlin Clark electrifies fans, White has some critical issues to address, starting with NaLyssa Smith's recent controversy and ensuring Kelsey Mitchell remains a cornerstone of the team. NaLyssa Smith, a promising forward and one of the Fever's key talents, has recently stirred the pot with a statement about feeling underappreciated by the organization. This comment hasn't gone down well with Fever fans, many of whom have expressed frustration over Smith's perceived lack of loyalty and focus. But beneath the surface, her statement reflects a deeper issue: the need for the Fever to build a culture where all players feel valued.
But I also feel like, you know, we see the game the same way. We both love the game. We're both competitors. And so I think it's going to be a smooth transition. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Whether Stephanie White likes it or not, she invariably faces a critical crossroads here. But this is where Smith's talent is undeniable, having the potential to be a game changer on both ends of the court. However, public perception has soured, and White must navigate this carefully. She needs to mend fences with Smith while simultaneously rebuilding her relationship with the fan base. White's approach will likely emphasize accountability and communication. "We're all part of the same team, and we win together," White said during a recent media session, hinting at her strategy to address internal dynamics. By fostering open dialogue, acknowledging Smith's concerns, and aligning her role with the team's goals, White has a real opportunity to turn this negative situation into a motivating factor for Smith and the entire roster.
And is one of the people on the team that went out of their way to repost that Stephanie White was hired. So obviously, we saw nothing from the players that are free agents, like Kelsey Mitchell, Erica Wheeler and stuff. But there is one player that we're like, oh, will she even be on the team next year? Posting positively about Stephanie White being hired, and that is NaLyssa Smith. And this is such a tricky one because her perceived value amongst the league is a lot worse than her ability.
While sorting things out with Smith is vital, White knows there's another pressing matter on her plate: re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. The standout guard was instrumental in the Fever's successes last season, serving as a reliable scorer, playmaker, and leader on the court. Mitchell's ability to perform under pressure and rally the team makes her a must-have for any hope of contending this year. Mitchell's impact is undeniable.
I gotta say, I feel less confident about Kelsey Mitchell's future with the Fever than I ever have before today.
She averaged stellar numbers last season and was often the team's go-to option in clutch moments. For White, ensuring Mitchell's continued presence on the team is about more than just her stats. It's about maintaining the core leadership that the Fever needs to compete at the highest level. However, other teams may already be eyeing Mitchell, making it imperative for White and Fever management to act swiftly. Offering her the contract and role she deserves is non-negotiable. It's not just about keeping a talented player, it's about sending a message to the entire league that the Fever are serious contenders.
Is probably an all-star, going to be an all-star next year. I think there is a 50-50 chance, especially because the way the players vote. The way the players vote, she's going to be one of the highest voted guards in the entire WNBA. So I think there's like a 70-30 chance she's an all-star next year. But again, I'm excited for them. That's a bit... And then she's talking obviously about the free agent contract now.
Any idea?
No, I don't know anything. I haven't even, let the thought cross my mind. I'm just kind of standing it right now. But, those conversations are going to have to be had. And, I'm going to do what's best for me.
Balancing these two situations, which is repairing relations with Smith and securing Mitchell, will test White's leadership skills early on. But if there's one thing White has shown throughout her coaching career, it's that she thrives under pressure. Her ability to connect with players, understand their perspectives, and create a unified vision for success will be the key to navigating these challenges. For fans, these moves will set the tone for the Fever's trajectory under White's leadership. If she can bring Smith back into the fold, lock down Mitchell, and continue building around Caitlin Clark, the Fever will emerge not just as playoff contenders, but as a team with the chemistry and talent to go the distance. Thus, this is Stephanie White's moment to prove why she's the right person for the job. And if her track record is any indication, she's more than ready to rise to the occasion. We all know that Caitlin Clark's impact on the Indiana Fever has been undeniable, and one player who's felt the full force of her influence is Lexi Hull. Since Clark's arrival, Hull has openly credited the superstar guard with helping her elevate her own game. Clark's leadership and natural ability to make everyone around her better have made her the focal point of the Fever's growth, and Hull's improvement is just one example of that.
It's interesting revisiting past comments Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White made about each other, knowing what we know now. Because it's been clear all along, I guess, in retrospect, that there was mutual love and respect between the pair. Coach White had said that Clark was going to be the player who adapted the best to the WNBA coming out of college.
Now, with a deeper roster and a coach who understands her, Clark can improve without having to overexert herself. White's approach will allow her to rest, conserve energy, and sharpen her skills, all while still being the leader the Fever need to make a deep playoff run. For Stephanie White, she's already making her mark, and she's more than determined to build a championship-contending team. While she's focused on making key signings and shaping the roster, one thing is obviously clear: Caitlin Clark is at the center of everything. White recently revealed that Clark will be the focal point of the Fever's game plan, underscoring just how much faith she has in the star guard. Will this be the year the Fever finally make their mark on the league? Only time will tell, but with Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark leading the charge, the possibilities are endless. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.